and I work with the SAREP team, and I am deeply honored to be here today hosting the very last session of this momentous SACEF 2023. It has been an incredible journey full of knowledge sharing, insightful discussions, and collaborative ideas that have enriched our minds and inspired us to strive for greater targets. Through these magnificent 3 days of SACEF 2023, we have discussed various significant energy related challenges, opportunities in the South Asia. That is one of the fastest growing regions in the world, as we all have been discussing all this while. The energy sector in South Asia plays a crucial role in the growth and sustainable development of not only Asia Pacific region but also in the global emissions owing to the huge population, enormous opportunities for energy efficiency and the renewable energy development deployment. Such an annual regional conference that adopts an integrated approach to discuss the challenges and opportunities was the requirement for the energy sector stakeholders from South Asia, along with global energy experts, to gather, share knowledge, forge partnerships, identify opportunities, and develop a more coordinated approach to improving the region's energy sector performance. We are overwhelmed with the response and indeed very happy to have been the first one hosting in India and looking forward to more such annual conferences in other countries of the region. Now, without further ado, let me invite Dr. Rakesh Goyal, Chief of Party SAREP, to deliver the welcome remarks. Dr. Goyal has over 40 years of experience in the power sector, where he has worked in complete value chain, that is generation, transmission, distribution, customer affairs, and regulatory commission. Over his long career span, he has been the COP of 3 USAID India funded projects. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Bhumika, for being so generous to me. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the closing session of the 3 day event of the first South Asia Energy Forum 2023. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome for this session Mr. Dinesh Jagdale, Joint Secretary, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, Mr. Arjun Kumar Gautam, CEO, Hydroelectric Investment Board, Nepal, Dashor Injin, Managing Director, DGPC, Bhutan, Mr. Rashid, Chairman, FENACO, Maldives, DISCOM, Mr. Shane from USAID, Bangladesh, Mr. Tushita from Sri Lanka, and Mr. Asim, Deputy Secretary from the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India. It's my pleasure and privilege to welcome in this session Mr. John Smith Sareen, Indo-Pacific Office, and other USAID colleagues from India, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, along with other dignitaries and participants who have come from about 10 different countries to participate and contribute in this event. Over the course of SACEF 2023, we have engaged in fruitful discussions and shared valuable knowledge, ideas, and experience that have enriched our understanding of the region's energy challenges and opportunities. Among the key messages and insight from the session, we have emphasized the importance of regional cooperation and collaboration in advancing clean energy initiative, recognize the need for innovative financing mechanisms to support the transition to clean energy, addressed the critical role of technology and capacity building in enhancing energy efficiency and renewable energy deployment, means and ways to modernize utilities and make them resilient, discussed the significance of inclusive policies and framework that consider the social, economic, and environmental aspects of clean energy deployment. We'll see these learnings from these 3 days through a film and the more deliberations also in a while. In today's concluding session, titled Paving the Way Forward, Actionable Insights and Next Step for South Asia's clean energy revolution. We will consolidate these key messages and learnings, reflecting on the progress made and discussing the way forward. We encourage all of you to actively engage in the discussions, sharing your thoughts, opinions, and perspective on how we can continue the momentum of the clean energy movement in South Asia. Together, we can translate our discussions into tangible actions and create a lasting impact for a sustainable future. We look forward to an inspiring and energizing closing session that will set the stage for the next chapter of South Asia's clean energy journey. Let us forge ahead the connects that we developed over the last 3 days and make a meaningful difference in our country and in the region. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakesh sir. And you have been a strong pillar of support. And thank you for your conclusive remarks. As we have just spent very fast-paced 3 days, it is time for some recap of all the action we have experienced. Our team has been actively taking bites and snippets of all the ongoing action and have brought you a video to look back on the highlights of SACEF 2023. Requesting the team to please play the video. Well, surely this has been a very eventful event. and a very quick turnaround from our team. So thank you very much. With this, now I'll move on to the next section of this session. I'll invite Peter Dupont for the interactive audience poll, where the attendees will provide real-time feedback, and we'll have some questions from the audience as well. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhumika. I'm Peter Dupont. I'm with the South Asia Clean Energy Partnership. And so what we're going to do is we're going to force you to participate by doing a little interactive poll. So please take out your cameras. You can scan the QR code, and there's a poll that has about 5 questions. I'd like you all to do this so we can get responses. It's a very simple poll. If you don't know the answer, ask the person next to you. And then we will show, the questions are basically who you are, what line of work you're in, some reactions you have to the event. And after we do this poll, I'll walk around the audience and ask you for your reflections. So another minute, we need a little more time. Is it working? So when enough people are looking up, we'll start showing the results. Okay, we need 30 more seconds. 1 minute. We'll give you a minute and a half. Okay, 30 seconds, and then we'll uh, show the results. Are we good? Good? Okay, let's see the results. How did we do? Did we pass? Okay, so not surprising, just under 30% from India, and we've got broad representation across the countries, and I don't know why it keeps popping up. In terms of, we have, can we scroll up to see the second chart? Okay. So we've got uh, 14, we got the highest representation is international development agencies, followed by private sector business. That's good to see. Pretty evenly with government agencies, academia, research, and other. Okay, and then we'll look for the that's the participants here. And next one, please. Okay, we rigged this poll. Okay, there was only a 4 and 5. You couldn't rate us less than very good. No, that actually, I'm just kidding. There was a possibility to rate as I think it was satisfactory or less than satisfactory. So it's good to see that. And then, okay, this is an interesting question. Which is most relevant to your work? Okay. And so the top one was partnerships. And then coming in second, it looks like we have the cross-border electricity trade, decentralized renewables, e-mobility, and financing. But everything is pretty well represented. So I think we probably hit the mark in terms of the mix of topics that we covered. And but it is quite interesting because the theme of the event was partnerships, that partnerships got the highest ranking. And then which aspect did you enjoy the most? Number 5? Okay, main sessions was the highest World Cafe and coffee breaks. Okay, maybe we should have more coffee breaks. It seemed like the coffee breaks were always squeezed in about 10 minutes. And that's why we were about 15 minutes behind for the last 3 days because we were expanding the coffee breaks that started a little bit late. Will you attend SACEF next year? Okay, a very high, resounding, definitely yes, and probably yes. And then only 2 people said not sure. We did not give you an option to say no. That was purpose. Okay, so now what I want to do is take 5 minutes or so and just get some feedback from you in the audience on how SACEF was. Just what did you learn? How did you like the format? Let's see. Mr. Asif Rashid from the Maldives. We had a conversation earlier, and do you want to share a little bit about your experience? Here, take this.
Okay, it's coming. Yeah, thank you, Peter. Actually, the most important that I enjoyed here is actually the World Cafe session because I've been into many different meetings in the SDG goals because I'm the national coordinator for education SDG. So while visiting these, we often have the World Cafe. It gives us an opportunity to share our experiences, to share our challenges, and to know how the others I mean, solved it. Because sometimes some things are very common, some are very unique to each country. So talking with them, sharing the ideas, it gives a direct opportunity. It's a direct contact with them. Uh, it's in the general sessions, it gives a lot of information. It was very informative for me how the energy sector has developed and how fast it is growing clean energy. So it was very informative for me. But the most important, I should say, the World Cafe session gave me the opportunity to interact with others, what they are thinking, what we can do, those things. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you. And it's interesting because we had a chat in the elevator yesterday, and Asif is involved in SDG workshops, and they have world cafes all the time. I don't think we do that in clean energy, and we should probably do that more. By the way, I think next year we'll call it the South Asia Cafe instead of the World Cafe. Mr. Karma, did you want to share some observations or thoughts about SACEF?
Well, thank you, Mr. Peter, for forcing me to speak.
Oh, this is completely voluntary. You were voluntold. You know that word voluntold? Yes.
Well, very good evening, after all, distinguished guests and all our audiences. So yeah, I'm Karma Sangye from Bhutan. So I represent Department of Energy. So thank you very much for this forum. Actually, this has been a proud moment that I represent Bhutan and was able to speak few things that what Bhutan has been up to now. Well, if I have to, give some few reflections about the session until today, 3 days ago. So there were quite a lot of ideas and knowledge, the exchange of ideas and knowledge, in particular, of distributed energy resources, smart metering, and also there was a lot of interaction within the colleagues, within the participants from other countries. This was absolutely a knowledgeable session, I should say. And all in all, the best part that I should say is I was able to know the status of ourselves. I mean, the status of our country. What India is doing, what my country is doing, what Nepal and Maldives, and Bangladesh is doing at the moment in terms of energy. So this is something which I was able to know and make a clear decision when I go back to my country. And other than that, actually, I'm also taking with me quite a lot of informative books that's been, freely been offered through this event. So I'm very much thankful for this, and definitely would love to attend this kind of forum. And I would say this is absolutely perfect forum for exchange of knowledge and sharing our ideas to for the better future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Carmack. That's excellent to hear that. Do we have any other reflections. My ruse has been shown up. I did talk to a few people beforehand, but I'm willing to talk to anybody who wants to share their experience. So, Rick, why don't you just say uh, who you're with, just so everyone knows?
Yeah, thank you, Peter. I'm Chief of Party of the Sri Lanka Energy Program. And I really attended this conference more as a working stiff. Um, Sri Lanka Energy Program has been in train for a year and a half. We have almost 40 activities. We're doing broad range of activities. We have 24 indicators we have to fulfill. And as I'm reminded almost daily by Roseanne, my core, um, we need to score on those every day and make advances. So I was looking for practical help on how do we achieve our requirements. And first, the agenda, which I admit I had a vote on what topics were covered, uh, fits us perfectly. Uh, Distributed resources, demand flexibility. We have a big effort going on in that area. In fact, our SAGE friends are visiting Sri Lanka next week, and I'm going to ask that we see the demand response presentation again. My team would be very interested in that. Advancing e-mobility in South Asia. We're letting grants now on solar-powered charging stations for E2 and 3-wheelers. Very relevant to us. Mobilizing investment cross-border electricity trade. We have our offshore wind potential, very big, especially for a country like Sri Lanka. We've been asked by several agencies to assist in developing that. So understanding that and how we're going to get it financed is very relevant to us, as is green hydrogen, because now I understand, I've gotten the understanding from this session of how green hydrogen can work into cross-border electricity trade and developing offshore wind and assist in the financing of that. And the innovative financing strategies are very relevant. So a very relevant agenda that I've learned a great deal from. And the two things I've taken away from every session that are going to pay big dividends for us is, first, the huge amount of resources and material we have on all these relevant topics from SAREP. The library, the hub, the experts are we're going to work with them in the future to get our job done. And then second, how we can coordinate with other countries who are doing similar efforts for us, and work through this to the benefit of all parties, which is something I didn't understand thoroughly before this, and now I have a great understanding and even the contacts in the country teams, so we can make that happen. So I'm thoroughly satisfied. I guess I should have at least one criticism, and that would be maybe brewed coffee next time.
That's that's a heavy lift. That's a lot to ask, Rick. You have very high standards. So we are going to hear from one person from each of the countries, and also John Smith-Streen. But before I hand it back to Bhumika, does anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Uh, Basically, forum is there, and now I guess this forum need to focus on a specific objective. Yes, those are there as well. One thing just knocking to me, globally, if you look at, I mean, other than South Asian countries, there is a regional grid does exist in any form. So if forum can bring this grid in the South Asian countries, that would be the great achievements after finishing this program.
Okay, we'll put that on our to-do list. Thank you for that. I know minions are working on that. Okay, I'm going to hand it back to Bhumika, and thank you for your participation in the poll and your reflections.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, everyone, for all the key takeaways, all the learnings, and all your experiences. And we'll also think of brewed coffee next time. And so we move on to the next segment, that is reflections on SACEF 2023. We have representatives from all the SAREP countries who will express their perspectives, thoughts, and any learnings or anything they want to share about this event. Without taking too much time, let me invite Mr. Dinesh Jagdale, Joint Secretary, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, onto the stage. And we'll have all the panelists over on the stage. I'll also invite Mr. Shayan Shafi, Senior Energy Advisor, USAID Bangladesh. Please also join Dasho Shewang Rinzin from Bhutan onto the stage. Also, Mohammad Rashid from Feneka from Maldives. And from Nepal, we have Mr. Arjun Kumar Gautam. He's from Hydroelectricity Investment and Development Company. We also have Dr. Thusita Sugatpala from Slaikan Trust from Sri Lanka. Also, we have Mr. John Smith Sreen onto the stage for the vote of thanks. But we'll start with Dinesh Jagdale, Joint Secretary, MNRE. So please, over to you. Yeah, as you wish.
Okay. Given the freedom I guess.
Thank you. Good evening to all. I think this is my second participation. In fact, I had been there for one of the sessions day before yesterday. And pleasure to be amongst you, all the dignitaries on the dais, colleagues, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. We are all partners in green energy transition. You know, while we are in this decade of action to be taken collectively, we all sitting here and all the deliberations that going amongst different countries, in fact, all countries, it is imperative for us to now actually look forward for a collective effort in achieving the global energy transition as we speak. I'm sure this closing session, obviously, we are deliberating. There were a few events, few feedback sessions, but the South Asia Clean Energy Forum 2023, I'm sure it has deliberated on several issues, several topics, interesting topics, way forward, partnerships, and so on and so forth. And I'm pleased that this extensive participation from all the delegates of South Asian countries, that's remarkable to come to India and have a joint discussions under this South Asia Clean Energy Forum. At the outset, let me also take this opportunity to convey my gratitude and thanking all the agencies, including obviously USAID has taken, and the South Asia Regional Energy Partnership Program for spearheading this transformative initiative. The vision and commitment has been instrumental, and most of the dedicated stakeholders I see in this room must have deliberated during the various sessions to revolutionize the new concepts and the way forward towards the transition. I'm personally truly honored to have, and as a country, from the Government of India, from the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, I thank all the guests from Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, Sri Lanka, who are with us today. I'm sure your presence, insights, and experiences have been invaluable in sharing and shaping the discussions and recommendations that have emerged from this forum. So your commitment demonstrates the importance of how the South Asia Clean Energy Forum and how the South Asian countries now need to come together in the goals and objectives that we are setting amongst ourselves. So as we draw close to this session, this SACEF 2023, there are a few pointers which I was trying to track upon. I think the spirit of regional cooperation highlights the need for collaboration, knowledge sharing, And we all need to take this benefit of these sessions to overcome the shared challenges and accelerate our efforts in clean energy transition. The forum will give a platform to identify and discuss the innovative financing mechanisms and investment opportunities that can propel the development and deployment of clean energy solutions. And then plenty of clean energy opportunities, plenty of each individual country has taken aggressive role. Every country has its unique opportunity, and we all collectively can take this partnership forward to achieve the common goal. The event also explored the importance of technology, capacity building in enhancing energy efficiency, renewable energy deployment, energy access. The discussions, I understand, have also emphasized the significance of inclusive policies, frameworks that consider the social, the economic, and the environmental dimensions of the clean energy development, ensuring a just and equitable transition for all. The forum also highlighted the need for training and skill development in the clean energy workforce, which is crucial for all of us to scale up the deployment of clean energy sources across all regions, across all countries. Over the course of 3 days, I also understand there were several resource reports launched, the EV charging stations, the EV charging station assessment, handbook for smart meter installation, installer technicians, report on investment landscape of green hydrogen in India as well, in which my ministry takes the lead on. So as we move forward, let's take these insights and learnings back to our respective countries and translate them into tangible actions that can drive meaningful change. Together, we can achieve a sustainable, prosperous, and secure energy future for South Asia and contribute the global clean energy revolution. Thank you for your commitments and dedication to this cause. May we have many more successful editions to come, and I do see a huge response for the feedback session that was conducted, wherein I'm definitely going to come for the next 2024 session. So all in good, that we also should, we have deliberated, and we also keep on deliberating. And while we deliberate on this, one thing is very critical in this. We keep on looking at reports, we look at what each country is doing, but we firmly believe, and I'm sure the forum and the other countries uh, will do second me in this thought process, is that today, while individual countries are trying to bring in the change, I think partnerships are going to be key, whether it's technology partnership, whether it's partnership on finance, whether it's partnership on capacity building, skill development, and so on and so forth. The list will not end. But what is going to be the key is that we all should be one in this collective effort of achieving the global green energy transition. So it was excellent to be part of you today for this closing session, and all that closes well will last for several longer sessions, and see you then in the next session when we all meet with new ideas, new thoughts, new initiatives, and obviously what we learned and how we demonstrate it on ground. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Jagdale sir. We are grateful to have you and for all your insights and support. Now I will welcome Shayan Shafi, Senior Energy Advisor from USAID Bangladesh.
Thank you, Bhumika. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for staying up for 2 days with us. Clearly the audience poll showed many insights, which was not surprising, but again, at the same time, it was very pleasant to know. One thing that I thought was very important, at least for me to understand, was that the partnership. Uh, what you liked about the answer to that question, partnerships got the highest um, result. And I think it can be for two reasons. One is partnership was the first option. Maybe people said click that, but jokes apart, I think it is really encouraging to see that people value partnership very much. And I think it's also something that is near and dear to our thinking process, where we think that we cannot do it alone. We need to make partnerships with others. We have to forge partnerships with others so that we can bring positive changes to any sector. So that being said, I would have one small suggestion to the organizers. Uh, when people registered for this event, everyone had to provide their basics, right? Where they are from, what are they doing, and so forth. I think it might be worthwhile for everyone to know their fellow participants who joined in this forum. You can consider providing a simple list of participants in your website so that one.
Mobility. I think this is something that everybody is talking about, especially India is leading the way. We are also talking about hydrogen fuel, and both e-mobility and hydrogen fuel are very important for Bhutan in that all our hydropower projects Of course, sometimes when you put the word clean, we are not able to understand because Bhutan thinks that energy is anyway clean. We are 100% dependent on hydropower. But then in the winter months, we produce very little. In the summer months, we produce quite a lot. And we are trying to manage that energy difference in the production during the summer and winter months. And so for us, e-mobility has become very, very important. Is one of the key areas where we are giving priority at the present time. Hydrogen fuel has suddenly come on the top of our list also as a priority area. And we are glad to see that the whole Southeast Asia region, especially with India, leading the way, that we are all on the same wavelength. I think the third thing that I can see from here is that there is an interest to ensure that we strengthen and facilitate transmission lines, the transmission systems that are going to transfer electricity from one end of the South Asia region to the other end. Definitely, with India investing a lot of, making a lot of investments in solar and wind, there is definitely a lot of requirement for hydro from Nepal and from Bhutan to come down. And therefore, the strengthening of the transmission lines as to how we strengthen them, how we facilitate them, is very important. And I think this forum has really been able to touch on the importance of the transmission lines. The other thing that that came out, I suppose, from the discussions was that there is a lot of investments taking place in renewables. There is very limited resources as far as hydropower is concerned. But to make renewables like solar and wind feasible, it is required to have solar. So I think there's a lot of initiatives being taken for pump storage now. And definitely, I think there is a need for us to not only look at internally within the country to look at balancing the power, but also say that India invests in solar in India, then maybe the company that invests in India in solar would consider to invest in Bhutan or Nepal in hydro so that there is a balancing that they're able to provide at the end of the day. Most importantly, I also, as pointed out earlier, also there's a lot of discussions going on the cross-border trade of electricity between the countries here, and I think that's the only way we can survive into the long-term future. That every one of us should be able to share the resources, the limited resources that we have in a very affordable manner, and which is also reliable. And I think this forum has highlighted all of those things, and I think it's a very, very important forum that has been put together. And I hope that USAID and SAREP, like at any other time also when we ran into problems, they have come forward to help us. But I think this forum brings all of us together here in Delhi this time around, but next year somewhere else. But I think this forum has is one of the more important forums that have come up, and I hope that you will continue to support this forum in future. So thank you.
Thank you, Dasho. Now we have Mohammad Rashid from Feneka from Maldives.
Uh, thank, thank you very much. First of all, let me congratulate USAID. True to the theme of this forum, you have truly been a catalyst in identifying the partnerships for us to achieve the clean energy transition. USAID has been a partner with Maldives and specifically Feneka for many years now, and we hope that it will continue soon with a new project just being implemented, and we look forward to doing it together with you. I think this forum has been very useful for us to identify who the partners are, who the key players are in this region, and who the experts are in the field in the region, who we can access easily. We are also very grateful for the training manuals, training guidelines that was launched during this forum. It will save us time to develop such a guideline. So that's something that I'm physically taking away from this forum. We have a training institute in Fenaka, and we would put these documents into the library so that Maldivians can use it as a reference information. I think the discussions and the presentations were of quite use, and what I learned was that the countries in the region are working towards the same objective, uh, has pretty much the same programs in progress, and I'm sure we can achieve much more by being in partnerships and moving forward as a team, as a group, especially to get the financing, which is the biggest challenge for all of us, I think. Thank you very much, and I'm sure from Maldives the participation will be there the next year as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rashid. Now I welcome Mr. Arjun Kumar Gautam from Nepal.
Thank you, Bhumika. Respected dignitaries on the dais, respected speaker and the participant of the event. First of all, I would like to congratulate USAID and the SAREP for organizing this grand event. I feel this event has been grand success. That is not only my feeling, that is justified by the recently conducted the audience poll. So congratulations to the entire team who involved in the organizing and the managing the event. And I'm thankful with the organizer for participating, for getting the opportunity to participate in the event. And we discuss in the different issues of the energy transition in the South Asia, like there are regarding the cross-border issues, regarding the financing gap, regarding the different innovative finance possibility of the different innovative financial instruments, human resource gap and the human resource development required. Similarly, we discuss on the e-mobility and the e-cooking and the issues on inherent issues on involved on that agenda, and so on and so on. So the way forward from the respective discussions will be the take home for us uh, for the implementation and the adaptation of these issues. And the third thing is that the all of we are aware that the our the common agenda is the energy transition and net zero carbon emission. That is our the common agenda, and for that, as mentioned in the theme of this forum, that is catalyzing the partnership for the clean energy transition, we must have the partnership. We must have the collaboration because these are the common agendas and these are our common goal as well. So collaboration among the countries is the prerequisite to achieve our the common goal. So in this context, the forum and the theme of the forum, that is the catalyzing the partnership for clean energy transition, is the most relevant issue. And similarly, the USAID has initiated the concept of South Asian Forum for Energy Investment. I mean the SAF, SAFE. with the theme of the to facilitate support and the promote the regional energy investment in South Asia in sustainable and the cost effective manner. And that is I think that is a theme of the forum. And in this context, that forum will provide us the opportunity of the collaboration between us. Similarly, this forum will provide the opportunity for the exchange of our idea and knowledge, and it will provide the common forum to address the common agendas and to achieve the common goal. So, last but not least, I feel that we must, as I already mentioned, that we must have the partnership. So, on behalf of the Nepal, I request all the South Asian representative and the respective organizations, let's join hand for clean energy transition. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gautam, for all your appreciation and your suggestions. I now invite Dr. Thusita Sugatpalla from Sri Lanka.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you very much for having me. And let me join others to congratulate USAID and SAREP for having a very successful program, the 3-day program, and we have learned a lot. So just to reflect that, like when we have these different topics from different countries throughout these 3 days, what I felt is they are discussing our problem. So all the topics discussed are very relevant to present context and also future direction of us, Sri Lanka. So that shows the global nature of the topics we discuss, as well as, more importantly, opportunities for collaboration and importance of the collaboration partnerships. I'm repeating again the same word, partnerships, very important. I have, of course, able to already some initiative steps towards partnerships and also so opportunities for partnerships. So that's what I will do when I go back. Link in the corresponding agencies to have these partnerships. So that may be the future direction we have to work. But at the same time, while all the topics discussed are the technology development, some of the directions, and also not only the technology but also governance, policies, information, tools, very relevant. But one challenge we're having is basically we have to implement this one in the present system. We have conventional systems, we have infrastructure developed for different type of technologies. So we will have huge issue of how to integrate these solution to the existing system. So that's where, of course, I think we need a kind of stories, success stories, best practices, where these concepts are adopted to a particular circumstances. Case studies. So I think in the future program, probably can have a session on success stories indicating how those are adopted to a particular circumstances, so that we can learn from that one. It's not only the knowledge, but also we need the skills to do things. And that's one area. And the other area, basically, the importance of political and, of course, the policy level engagement. Because at the end of the day, the resources, everything is allocated or prioritized by politicians or political levels. That they have to be also educated. In some forum, we have a kind of session where we invite politicians to participate and have a roundtable discussion type of thing. I propose that in the future. Probably you are present in, I think, the government in India, but we like to have a similar capacity, maybe the secretaries, invite the secretaries, energy secretaries, maybe transport, have that session as a part of that. Then they can carry our messages. And at the same time, the learning here has to be communicated. I think that will be done by USAID, of course, just to highlight the importance of catering for different stakeholders. The way we have to communicate to the private sector is different from the that of a community in large or even the policymakers. So therefore, one of the probably important outcome or output of this forum should be a policy paper, maybe 2-page, 3-page policy paper, not a detailed report. Maximum maybe 3-page policy paper where we can communicate to our policy making or decision making, the decision makers. And another thing, I think what we are facing as an issue is in the government level, they are responding to immediacy. They are looking at their next election. And so their emphasis on these topics we are talking of 10 years, it's not there. Of course, in the policies, they are like it's highlighted, and we have targets of 2050 net zero carbon thing. Then 2030, we have target for electrification, renewables, and so on, 70% target. But it's still, when you look at the ground level decision making, that's not happening in that direction. So therefore, how to prioritize these long-term sustainable, those targets within the this prioritization in the political and policy circle is also we have to look into. And another thing, area already highlighted the youth engagement. I think that's also I felt that this has to be given a priority because they are the future. You have to have a session on led by youth so that youth will be here. We are in the audience and listening to them, and we will see a completely different type of picture. That happened in COP27. Probably some of you are there probably, and youth come onto the stage and talk. Completely different ideas. Innovations, everything. Yeah, there. So I propose that you have to have a youth and also keep a maybe average age of the participant. You don't know whether you have taken that one as an indicator, but that has a meaning, I think. Next time, also when you collect the data in your questions, have the age, and then you can see that distribution. Of course, we need all this knowledge has to be there, but then think about the future that is their future. So that's one thing, and um, so that's I think important element. Then other one is entrepreneurship, innovations. We talk about startups. Now that element also as a part of that, probably can invite some of the entrepreneurs and then discuss those ideas, and they will also pick topics for their future innovations because they are the one who are going to take the actions. So those are some of the thoughts I have, but these are not to criticize what you have. But I'm very satisfied with the outcome. The first time I think we are doing the first forum, but it's a long journey. There are a lot of things to do, but it's as a start, it's excellent. So I should again congratulate USAID and SAREP and all the others, and also the whole supportive team. And I had an excellent from my home, even picking up from the airport, and everything's perfect. Thank you very much for that, and I'm really enjoying and looking forward to participate in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tusita. Now, may I invite John Smith-Green? He needs no introduction for the vote of thanks. Please.
Thank you, Bhumika. Friends, I've learned a lot from my children over the years. My son presented me with a book called Factfulness by a Dutch researcher, Hans Rosling. And Rosling argues that the world is doing pretty good today. If you look at the data shows very positive trajectories over the years. Sure, there's bumps in the road here and there, blips, but look at the general trajectory over time, and we're all doing much better than we even sometimes realize. I shared yesterday that I've spent 30 years, 8 years total, but over the course of 30 years, living and working in South Central Asia. So I'm blessed with that experience, but also these 3 data points in time. And the trajectory in this region of the world is incredibly positive. And again, the trajectory, the transition toward clean and renewable energy is very, very positive. So that's something that you all should be very proud of. You've all contributed to. With respect to the South Asia Clean Energy Forum, I'd like to talk about 2 points: process and product. Getting a group of government, private sector, civil society, financial institutions, academia, bilateral development organizations, multilateral organizations, all together and all talking about this transition toward clean energy. Fabulous, fabulous process. Peter, I checked the coffee breaks as one of the elements that I really enjoyed. And during those coffee breaks, and Rick, it wasn't because of the instant coffee, I can tell you that, but during the coffee breaks, I heard from so many people that we felt isolated. Yes, Zoom and WebEx and Google Meet has allowed us to interact over the past couple of years, but just getting together and the fact that we can meet in person and talk about these things was really uplifting, and I think development is forged on conversations that develop into relationships that develop into partnerships. And that's why it's so important for us to continue with these conversations and forge these partnerships over time. I also checked the main event box, and I was so thrilled to see that video. I don't know where our video friend is right now, but did you all notice that Vade and Poonam were also in the video? That was from the last session on workforce development. So the fact that she was able to put that video together and show it to us and include right up to the last session was truly remarkable. So that gets to product. Not only did we talk about workforce development, but as my other colleagues have said, the discussions on cross-border electricity trade and green hydrogen and energy efficiency and financing and distributed energy, all fabulous. Really rich discussions, broad and deep, the release of reports. So wonderful in terms of a product also. And again, everybody contributed to that, and you all should be proud of that. Next steps, and Dr. Thusita, I appreciated your recommendations. We are going to try to encapsulate some of these discussions and put out maybe some general themes, some overviews, and share it among the respective countries and stakeholders. We'll also use what's been discussed here as a learning experience for the USAID missions and for SAREP in general, the South Asia Regional Energy Partnership, to adapt what we're doing, to learn from this experience and tweak. And it was so nice to see we have Urja and Slep and Badge here as well. So I think we can all learn together and benefit from that. We've talked about next South Asia Clean Energy Forum, and it is South Asia. So we're going to continue these discussions and look for a venue for 2024 because it would be wonderful to have this continue, to institutionalize the process, but rotate it around South Asia and host it in different venues. I think that would be very, very powerful. We saw from the survey that the majority of participants, not surprising, are from India. It's hosted here in India. Well, I think that'll change a bit if we host it in other venues over time, and that would be powerful. So let me end by thanking
Thanks, Rakesh, first to the SAREP team, and I mean the extended SAREP team. I know this was a wonderful contribution by so many different people to put this on. To my colleagues on the dais representing your respective countries, really appreciate your support and your thoughtful comments as we bring this to a close. To our colleagues from the interagency who are here from the United States, but also from the 6 different countries that are represented. Really appreciate the representation from the respective governments across South Asia. That's so great. To my USAID colleagues, Apurva and Manali and Anurag and Shankar and Cheyenne and Roseanne, really appreciate your participation and your active engagement throughout. I think that enriched the discussion and also allowed it to be amplified across South Asia. And finally, to all of you, bahut bahut dhanyavad. And I declare this catalyzing partnerships, as my colleague Arjun said, a success. So I think we have achieved that, and we look forward to next year's discussion.
Thank you, John. Thank you for all your thoughts and appreciation. And if we could now invite Purva, if you could hand over the mementos, please, to our esteemed guests.
Thank you.
I'll also request Asim ji, if you could join us. He's the director MNRE. Apurva, if you could, yeah, please.
Thank you very much. I request Namrata and Vivek if they can also join. And Naveen. Excuse me. Naveen is the man behind the question.
Can I request Shankar sir and Roseanne also to join here, please? Roseanne, if you can please join us on the dais. Jeff.
Thank you, everyone. I'll just take one moment more just to acknowledge and appreciate our backend team. And I would let me name all the colleagues who have helped me organize, and especially the work stream one. We start with Mahendra, who's the ace designer behind all the designs you see for each and every session. We have Nandita, who's been the content editor for all the books you have been seeing, most of the books you have been seeing. We had recently we were joined by Ashwarya. She helped us with all the preparations for the events. And we also had a social media team that is comprising of Astha, Mark, Patrician, and Peter, of course. Those are our extended arms from Bangkok. And of course, Farah is the is the team leader, and she's been the communication, events, and outreach head for us. Of course, Rakesh sir for all the he's the captain of the ship, and the complete USA team, the guiding light for us. I think thank you all for your patience. And I should not be forgetting the operations and the finance team. Without their contributions and timely efforts, this wouldn't have been possible. All the outside management you see is because of Naveen, Abira, Ankur, Vishali, and Rupashri. And I would request all of you to, if you could have a group photo, all the work stream one and the operations team. And again, thanking you all, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed as much as we did while preparing for this one. Thank you. Namaskar. Work stream one, and please, if you could have a group photo. Support. John को रोको. Aastha.